Welcome to LiveLaughLoads, a fun podcast for gay men exploring authenticity and vulnerability.
Where we talk about gay culture, mental health, relationships, and sex. Come take a load off with me, Ryan.
And me, Dario. So sit back, strap in, and enjoy the ride. Hello, Ryan.
Hello, Dario.
How are you this week?
I'm good. It's been such a great week. Following Pride.
Yes, we had a great Pride.
It was a fun Pride weekend.
Oh my God, you guys, we went to a pool party. It was so cute.
It was me and Dario's first time going out and about into the world together.
Can you believe that?
6 months of just hanging out on this couch.
That is true. But yeah, I fell asleep so early.
You fell asleep today.
Yeah. And he always tries to get me out. And I was like, oh, I'm in bed already.
We made it.
But we made it. It was a day party. So I think that's just...
But then we had another one.
Well, that's right.
Yeah.
That's good. It was a good
Yeah.
party too. We danced. We were recognized. For
Yeah, we got first recognition from the podcast. It was so cool, guys.
Shout out to that guy. I don't know if we know his name.
I don't think he gave me a name, actually.
Okay. Well, I hope he's listening. That made our night.
Yeah, shout out to you. Reach out to us so we can know your name and give you a proper thing.
Yeah, that was really cute. Yeah, it was an overall amazing weekend and a short week at work too because of the holidays.
Oh my God. It's going to be hard going back to a full week next week.
So we are on episode 6. This is the closing of our trilogy on love and dating and apps. And this one is going to be all about sex.
Our etiquette trilogy comes to an end, so we hope you're ready.
So we swiped, we flirted, we may be gone on a cute little date or two.
And now we're naked or about to be. And the question is, do you know how to act when the clothes come off?
Because sex might be hot, raw, passionate, but it doesn't mean it should be loveless.
Exactly. From asking about lube preferences to ghosting someone you just pounded, we're breaking down the rules between queer sex etiquette.
Whether it's your first Grindr hookup or your 100th Tinder match, this episode's your roadmap to being respectful, communicative, and still a filthy top-tier leg.
So grab your lube, check your ego, and get ready to come correct. We're Live, Laugh, Loads, and this is Sexpectations.
I couldn't do it with a straight face.
You're going to giggle. We're going to giggle.
We had a poll. We started doing a new segment online. So if you're following us, you're probably gonna get a catch this ones. It's called Work the Poll, and we're going to be asking our listeners and followers for questions, and then we're going to share our answers live as well. It seems that this was a very popular with 75%, I believe, of the same people choosing the same thing. So who was your gay sexual awakening?
I think pretty unanimous between the options.
Yeah, but it was actually the most answers. Do we remember the ones? It was Eric.
It was
from the Little Mermaid.
Prince Eric from the Little Mermaid. The Rocky, the Red Ranger.
Yes. What's his name? Jay.
I don't remember what
Jason.
Oh wait, Jason was the name of the Red Ranger?
I think so.
I thought it was Rocky. No, I'm thinking of the Three Little Ninjas. Totally different things.
No, Rocky. Yeah.
Was there never a Rocky Red Ranger?
Maybe,
I feel like
maybe later seasons.
I feel like
but
there
not the
eventually
original
is.
one.
Jason.
And then Chris O'Donnell.
Robin.
The
Robin.
From
The
Batman
plastic,
Robin.
hard, abdomen, nippled up Robin.
With the huge package.
Oh my God.
That rubbery hard package.
Well, and then do you remember the scene where it's like the scene where that turns him into Robin, where he's in the like the like circus like onesie.
No, but I need to rewatch this.
We should be we should have a little. We should have like a little Batman when you come
Yeah.
back. It should be like a little Batman party.
Batman and Robin. Yeah, I remember having a poster of him and Batman in the inside of my closet cabinet. Like I had like one of those like, it wasn't in the wall. It was just, like,
Yeah.
And so I remember when I had the room to myself, I will open that and I will look and,
Just look.
yes. Absolutely. Just admire
Look,
them.
no touch, consent. We're all about consent.
With no touching going on. Oh my god, you guys know so much about me at this point. What am I gonna have? I used to jerk off to that poster. Yeah, like you guys know so much more.
Yeah. It was hot.
Yeah. So, and you're gonna mention it. I'm gonna be gone for a month. I'm going to Europe, so I'm gonna be scouting. Maybe do a little segment from Europe.
Oh, that'd be cute.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, what is the gay scene like in Italy and Spain? Maybe I should like have some prompt.
Bring some stickers. Let's get some international followers.
Yeah, that would be cute.
Yeah, bring your Live Laugh Loads tank top.
Maybe.
I think most people would probably not get it because they like the language translation.
It's a very southern, like,
Well, it's American jargon. Like
it's American jargon from the South. But like I feel like people in the South are even like the ones like those women, like white women with like, the chic design in their house, that they have like this almost like farmhouse.
Well, and I think
like
even
Hobby Lobby.
Well, and I think even when you throw the loads part, I feel like that will go way over like foreigners' head, like even probably some gay foreigners, because
what would it be in Spanish?
Well, don't they just say leche? Don't they just say leche?
Vive, ríe, leche.
So Rio is already ordering the Spanish version of the shirt.
We need a new intro.
What do I do? Get it in Dutch?
Oh my god. Okay. So anyhow, I'll be gone for a month, but we have recorded episodes to keep you fixed for the next month.
Yeah, we've done like a little oh my god, marathon of recording for you guys.
Yeah, so you miss our content while I'm gone, but I'll be on vacation. So next time we record will be in August. Yeah. So anyhow, our sexual awakening, we went through that. Both of us, Chris O'Donnell, completely in love with them. I want to start something.
New one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to ask you something that you're grateful for this week.
I am something that I'm grateful for just like within the past week or just
since the last time we chatted. I mean,
since the last time we chatted. I am really grateful for I guess just kind of like finally starting to feel like this sense of community here in San Francisco, like between like the relationship with Drew, relationship with you, like getting pulled into the game nights and like meeting people through that and like all of the different things we've gotten to do. Like having like going to Pathfinder and like playing D&D with people like at local game shops and stuff like that. Like I feel so full. Like I feel so much fuller than I have in like a really long time. Like I feel like so much of my recreational life has been like rest and recovery or like just a lot more isolated for a while now. So it's just really nice to feel a lot more connected to people and the space around me.
He made me tear up.
No surprise there.
He told me this like actually a week ago. I was in tears too. Well, so yeah, in addition to that, I think like how valuable community is for me and just how much I have put into like building that, and I just love, I was telling my therapist recently, like, it's really cute because now like my friends from all these different like subgroups as a good Gemini, I just had like all this multiple different people in my life that I never brought together. And then suddenly I brought them together and I was like, I don't know what's going to happen. This is so scary. And then everybody started getting along. And then just noticing like everybody starting to love each other and like really kind of reinforcing that sense of like network and community. And it's not that they're like my friends now. It's just like, oh, we're just a group of friends. And that just brings a lot of joy to me because I was like, oh, it's happening organically, like that's not something you can force or predict. But it's happening, like I just love when you guys tell me it's like, oh, I love like this friend or I love that other friend. I was like, great, I love them too. I'm so glad you guys are loving them too because you guys are all amazing. And so, yeah, so that makes me really happy. And beyond all of that, I think just the podcast in general has been such a great source of joy. I've been struggling with just some other stressful parts of my life. And so this week, as I was preparing the content, so like we can stack it up for you guys, for our listeners, uh, just being able to go into the computer and work on the podcast just brought so much like sense of like relaxation and joy and I was like, oh, this is something that is fun to me, like that that I can just put together and zone out for like an hour editing the content, making the little videos you guys see on Instagram, and it just brings so much joy. So and it's just a good way to escape anything else that I have to do due to duties and like, responsibilities, like this is just an outlet for creativity and joy. Uh that is just really great.
And we get to share it with all these people.
I know. And then they recognize us on the streets.
So crazy. That was so weird.
So crazy. Okay. Thirst trap.
Our thirst traps.
Mhm.
So my thirst trap is so normally we like kind of like lean into like a physical sexy aesthetic along with like emotional intelligence. Yeah. And this time I'm really way more into like emotional intelligence. So my thirst trap this week is his handle is Chris the Co-Creator. So co-creator is in COCREATOR. Do I need to do the whole thing?
No, I was just trying to figure out another way of spelling co-creator.
Co-creator. I just wanted to make sure like I was spelled because Chris and the is very blatantly, and so
Okay,
anyway.
got it.
Anyway, he does these really just like beautiful poems. A lot of them, like a general theme is like reconciling with like your trauma and like really learning to how to like be like really gentle and loving with yourself. And it's been really powerful for me kind of reading. Like I can't tell you, I'm even like getting a little watery right now. So many moments in the gym where I'm just like scrolling and all of a sudden I come across this poem and I'm just like literally bawling in the corner of the gym, like, don't look at me. But yeah,
It's just sweat.
it's so sweaty in here. It's just all in my eyes. But I highly recommend you guys check him out. He's got some really, really beautiful work. If any of you have followed me on my own Instagram, you've probably seen it because I'm sharing it pretty often.
I didn't have the context initially, and like I saw your message being like, I'm at the gym and I'm like sobbing and I'm like, what is happening? And then I opened Instagram and I had like a bunch of like poetry and I was like,
Oh, now I'm also crying.
Exactly.
Well, and then because that was the one where it's like boys versus men, and that was a really good one.
Yeah, no, he's really good. Yeah, and you post them too on your story, right?
Yeah, and then that was how I found out about the fun little like AI background automator thing because I use it all the time for the little poems. Because
Oh yeah,
I have a lot of fun with those.
Yeah, it's super fun. Mine and it's also on the spiritual, not spiritual, on the emotional intelligence. He's a psychologist, right?
Handsome looking guy.
He's a handsome looking guy. Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's psychologist or psychiatrist. I'm not.
Yeah,
I
me
think he
neither.
just says therapist.
Okay, he's definitely in the vein of therapist for sure, or the therapy for sure, and a lot of his content is very thoughtful, really poignant. I'm kind of like feeling that I already like. Did I did this guy before?
Did you?
I don't think I did.
I don't think
I think I
so.
did this guy. But I do follow his content and I often repost it on my personal account. I still don't know how to pronounce it, but we're gonna say Spitolnik. and I'm gonna spell this for you guys.
Yeah, this
So
one
the
needs
handle is
spelled.
SPITULNIK. And yeah, just give him a follow. He does bring up like every week he has like a very sort of thought-provoking short video. And then he usually does a poll just trying to gauge, where the gays fall within the spectrum of what he talks about. So it's really interesting to also see like the responses of the community as well. So give him a follow. And so let's jump into
He's pretty handsome though, so it's not all just emotional intelligence. Let's be clear.
He's pretty
He's a
handsome.
pretty handsome guy.
Yeah, he's pretty handsome. He has a really deep voice.
Deep voices really do it for me.
Does it do it for you too?
Does this do it for you?
Should I continue talking like this?
Spit on neck.
Spit on my neck.
Oh God.
Okay.
Okay, we're done thinking.
Right on you. Let's move on. So let's set the scene. Just because it's casual doesn't mean it has to be careless. Let's get into how to have sex with more grace, respect, and pleasure for everybody involved. So, our first main theme we'll be discussing hosting versus traveling.
The age-old struggle.
Yeah, let's start with the basics. Where is this going down? And what's the etiquette when you're the host or the guest? So, who hosts?
Bottoms.
Thank you.
Bottoms get
Thank you.
unless they
decide not to.
Yeah, the rule is bottoms get priority.
Oh my God, I feel so validated.
The bottom has so much work to do.
Yes.
Top doesn't have to do shit to get ready. You just need to literally show up. That's all you gotta do.
Thank you. It's so, guys, like bottoms know this, so I'm not speaking to you guys. I'm speaking to the tops.
Tops, listen up.
Listen, it can take up to like a full day, at least half a day, just to start getting ready for you. So there's a couple of things that you need to understand. Like, we need to get clean. We need to prepare in terms of diet. We need to make sure everything is perfect.
You also need time between like when you're like quote unquote finished getting ready and when like activity actually starts.
Have an extra time. You want to do a double check right before you come through the door. Like, all of these things need to happen, and it's way more comfortable that this is happening in my place than in your place. Yeah. Not only that, but also like if you add all of that time in, plus traveling, plus like being at your place and then coming back, like that's just a lot of imbalance.
The bottom just already has so much to do.
So I think bottoms get priority. It doesn't mean that this works for everybody, but like be conscientious about it, you know. And I want to make sure also that you understand sometimes we might need to cancel last minute because we know it just
because our body has betrayed us.
Yes, and it's not something that we do with joy. But if we tell you, hey, unfortunately it's not gonna happen, you kind of need to like be really kind to us, which also means that if you cancel, you're a fucking asshole unless something happened to you, because we went through a lot of trouble to get to that point. So canceling last minute for a top, it's not okay. Like, what happened to you? You couldn't like wash your dick?
Yeah, not to say that like shit doesn't come up. Like,
yeah, if it's
communicate,
emergency, of course, yeah. But like, please be considerate. And if you have been talking to 3 people and you agreed to all 3 and then you made a decision, just please communicate.
Yeah, like there are so many dicks in the sea. Like, we're gonna be fine. It felt right. I didn't want to say fish. I didn't want to say fish.
So many dicks.
There are so many dicks in the bay. We're gonna be fine. But yeah, like it's just, a general theme that we are constantly bringing up. Like, just fucking communicate it. Yeah. Like, it is gonna be so much better because by not communicating it, likely what you've done is ruin your chances for anything ever happening in the future.
The bottoms talk to each other.
Yeah, there's a network.
We have a blacklist of tops.
Yeah, well, so when you select bottom on your Grindr profile, you get an invite to a,
you
to
get
a secret,
like a secret. You get to a
secret Grindr for just bottoms.
It's a Discord group,
just so you know. Live
logistics. Who brings it? Should have been discussed.
I certainly always do. If I'm bottoming or topping, I ask, especially if like somebody's coming over. I usually always have multiple kinds of lube. Like I always have water based, I always have silicone based, I always have coconut oil. So usually all three are out, and I just let them choose.
Yeah, I have the brands that work for me, because I have very sensitive skin, and so I know there are certain things that will irritate me, and it will be worse for everybody involved.
Yeah.
Because then we're also not going to be able to get too far if I get irritated.
Yeah.
So, but I do also have like multiple options, and within those options. So, because I usually will like to have sex in my place, they're available.
Yeah. And if you're the top and you like a specific kind, again, just communicate that. Like, hey, I want to bring this lube. Is that okay?
Yeah, I think I think it depends. Yeah. For me, it depends what you're trying to put inside of my body. Aside from your...
Okay, so that in that sense, then there's also a fourth kind of lube that I have available.
Yeah, I didn't follow.
K-lube.
K-lube?
For like fisting and stuff. Not that I've ever gotten there, but I do have it.
Oh, okay. I didn't know where this is going.
You've never heard of K-lube or J-lube?
No.
It's like a little powder. You like make it yourself. It's like extremely crazy. Like if you've never even seen videos where they do like the slappy and there's like it's like super lube.
Oh.
But it's super easy to wash off too. It literally just washes off with water. It's a lot of water,
fascinating.
But it's nice.
I have never tried that. No. I do. I mean, by the way, guys, I have like super luxury organic like shit. Like it's like
made from like
yeah. So like if you don't like my lube, you probably like you're just too specific. But like like it's not like I have cheap shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely need to find, I think, like a better silicone lube. I use
I would recommend you the one I have.
Yeah. What am I using? I think it's I can't remember the name of the brand at all. It's
I don't buy anything that comes from a porn shop. It will irritate everything about me, and I can't use the common. I don't know what they put on it, if it's petroleum based or what it is.
Yeah.
But there's something there that in a lot of the like bigger, or not bigger brands, but like the well-known brands,
Swiss Army, Gun Oil.
Yeah.
For me, any silicone. I'm okay using it, but I have to shower immediately afterwards.
Yeah, I know. The one that I have, it's like a luxury silicone that is like nicer, and like for whatever reason, that one doesn't fuck me up.
Okay.
So I will recommend you guys.
Let me check that shit out.
I don't remember it on the top of my head, but
we'll post about
it. What else? Overnight rules. Do you stay or do you bounce?
Oh, that's so specific to the encounter. I mean, I would mostly think, I would think in most cases, you're probably not staying but I guess if we're talking about sex in general, not just like in a hookup culture, it certainly is situationally dependent.
Yeah, I think it really depends. I mean, I will speak from the place that I feel that I am in this moment in time, which is not the same place that I was like maybe 2 years ago. But right now, if I'm having sex with someone and it's for first time, that already implies obviously that we did go on some dates, and then there's a connection, and I will actually want them to sleep with me the first night that we have sex. Like it's almost like a requirement. You want to have sex with me, you have to spend the night. This is because it's something that I identified through therapy. There's a lot of trauma around abandonment for me, and there's a lot of trauma around making the wrong choices with people that just wanted to get into my pants and lie to me about their long-term intentions. And so it creates a little bit of anxiety to have sex with someone, and then if that person like literally gets up
Leaves.
and leaves, even if we do see each other, and even though logistically I understand that we will see each other again, there is a level of anxiety that just kind of sort of creeps on that could potentially send me into two or at least one clear path, which is like I will shut down immediately
Yeah.
because I will try to protect myself. And it's something that just happens at like a cellular level that I still haven't really been able to heal, because probably I haven't found the right person that like will be able to show me a different path
Mm-hmm.
or a different alternative, and soothe my nervous system. And some of those things, I don't know, whoever dealt with trauma, they're very hard um self-soothe,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because they are dependent on an external force. And so like unless you are shown that there is another way of being, like your body is already trained to be like, oh, this person is not gonna ever come
Yeah.
back, you know, because this is kind of what being shown to me all through my 20s, all through my 30s. Not to blame them, as you know, mostly to realize, you know, I made the choices that led me to that, and I didn't put enough safeguards around the people that I share myself with when I had different intentions and just a hookup. Um, and so now I do have them. It's like, oh, we want to see each other. We want to have sex. Are you able to spend the night? Because if not, we need to find a different date, you know,
Yeah.
to like do it. And you know, and if they tell me it's like, oh, I could never sleep on someone else's like house, then I'm like, what are we doing then?
Yeah.
Why are we dating?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, and I have had like one guy that did that actually, and it was really annoying because we went on an awesome date. We decided to like you know, have sex eventually. And so I told him this whole thing. He's like, yeah, sure, yeah, I'll spend the night. And then the motherfucker left in the middle of the night.
Ooh, interesting. Interesting.
Yeah, and I was like,
Interesting.
wow, people will even do that instead of being like, hey, I just wanted to have a fun night with you and that's it. Because again, you know, like if that's the agreement, I can make also an informed choice that that's what we're doing, right?
Do you think there's any universe in which, like, because I know that I struggle to sleep in another person's space, like a couple, it's going to take me a couple of times to like really get comfortable with like a new person's
Sure.
sleeping arrangement to like be able to like actually have a good night of sleep.
Mhm.
So do you think that there's any universe in which he just was like not able to sleep, so he left so that he could go home and actually sleep?
I mean, yes, but
But he
then,
didn't communicate any of that to
right.
you. So
So
if that was what it is,
why
then
did you go to another date afterwards?
yeah. Okay.
That's the thing.
So
It's
there
like,
is a universe, but it's not this one.
that was
It's not the universe we're in.
'cause he obviously ghosted afterwards.
Yeah, okay.
So then that leads me to believe, I mean, like, come on, I have a really nice bed guy. It's like he's like, I will never be able to sleep on this nice bed.
Well,
So
and you're
just ended it here.
yours covers one of my main problems is I get really hot when I sleep. So like having like a cooling bed would be such a game changer.
Right? Yeah, I have a cooling heating bed that moves and makes your hips weightless, guys.
It's anti-gravity.
You're sleeping.
Yeah, you just float.
0 G's.
Yeah. You hit the button and then you just float
You
up
just
the
float
bed a little
above
bit.
it. Yeah, it's wonderful.
Could you imagine just like turning around and like you're just like in space? You like roll over and you're like upside down or
I
something.
love that.
That sounds
That
crazy.
would be amazing. So,
Zero gravity sleeping.
okay, so we talked about logistics and bottoms having priority, and then hospitality. This one is interesting. Because, well, okay, so on the overnight thing, I remember back in my youth, in the old-timey times,
Long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
long time ago, before Grinder. This was actually in Argentina, so it was a long way from here. But even during hookups, you know, I was 15, you guys, so ancient times. By the way, I gotta say that the age of consent is way younger in Argentina.
Just to clarify,
Just to clarify.
no judgment here.
Yeah, no, well, I started young, but also like the age of consent is 16. So,
I mean,
I didn't actually officially have sex until I was 16.
I lost my virginity when I was 14 to somebody who was definitely older than 18. So
Yeah,
I'm not saying
I
any
know. I mean, it happens so commonly in the case. I think like my boyfriend at the time was 29.
One of my
I was 16.
one of my early like hookups when I was younger was like I think at least a decade older than me, if not.
Right.
Yeah.
And for those stray people that are listening, I know they're out there. Um, like the gay community, the options are so much more reduced that often we ignore age societal options because we don't really have that many options. So
Yeah.
you have to make some concessions here and there. So often we don't even like see distance as one of the blockers. Like I'm always just being like, well, if I found my lovely man across the fucking sea, I'll fly over. I don't give a shit. Like this, like
That's where you are.
yeah. So anyhow, but I wanted to say that like back in the day, I will go to the club and it was actually implied that you would spend the night
With whoever you went home with.
whoever you went home with from the bar. Like it was just like a thing, because I mean, also like the bars there were like late, like late night, so they could be anywhere between like uh 2 a.m. to 8 a.m. that like, bars will, close at 8 usually. Um, and so you might go home around 4 a.m. with someone. There's no traffic, not traffic, public transportation is done until the morning, right? And so
Yeah.
it was kind of imply like you would just spend the night, you fall asleep afterwards, you will cuddle. And so it was like a lot more connected, even if it was a hookup, and maybe even if it wouldn't happen again. So I kind of miss that. I kind of miss that, like assumption, like it was a social thing. And I don't know, like I haven't been in Argentina, so I don't know if it's like a cultural thing or if it's like, think something that changed with time and apps.
Well, I feel like that sounds similar to my experience when I was like in my 20s and like going out to the clubs and meeting people at bars and going home with somebody. I don't do that as like almost ever really now. So I don't know if that's still kind of like, but it kind of just makes sense. Like, like you're out, you're drinking,
Yeah.
like, you're gonna pass out after as soon as you're done having sex.
We just don't meet people
Out.
live at bars anymore. Like it's funny because we went dancing recently, and like in the back of my head is like, oh, maybe I'll meet someone today, and like that never happens. Everybody's out with their friends, everybody's dancing, and so I am. Like I'm just like having fun. I'm not really scouting.
But people are so intimidated to
Talk to people in real life.
in group. Well, I think
groups,
I think in groups. I think that that's really where there's. I don't know if it's similar in the straight community, but it definitely feels like I noticed this pattern in gay communities is like that people don't interact with people in other groups really much at all. Like
we're
at the-
cliquey.
at the-
Are we we're very cliquey?
I don't think so. I mean, I think I don't know. I would like to think that I'm not. Like, obviously, I'm focused on my group predominantly, but like, if I wanted to go up and talk to somebody, I don't think that I would hesitate to do so. And even like in small little ways. Like, so for example, when we were at the Hotel Phoenix for our day party, the only compliment I got on my look all day long was when I was completely alone looking for you guys. And I looked cute as fuck, and nobody said anything until I was completely alone.
He did look cute.
I looked
guys.
really fucking cute. You
We
guys saw
actually
the picture.
we actually both, yeah. You guys see
It was
the
my little
pictures.
bucket hat, crop top, baggy pants look.
And I had my overalls, and I feel like I needed a straw hat and a piece of wheat on my teeth.
Paul Bunyan comes back from last night.
But we actually did got the cute couple from Austin. They said had to meet earlier, and then they came to the group, and then he's like, are these your friends? I was like, yeah. Do you want to meet them? I was like, yes. And like, he was like really excited to meet you all. And so like, I introduced you
I
all.
don't even. Oh,
You
the
remember?
couple that came over and danced with us briefly. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
right. That's
yeah.
right. That's right. Yeah, like I
Which
would
was a
love
really nice thing. It's like, oh,
more of that.
you know, we are welcoming, but speaking for myself, I am an introvert and I will get social anxiety, things like that. And so I actually like to be protected by my group.
Yeah, I understand that
You know, like I
100%.
tend to like just, but if someone comes to talk to me, like I will, and it's respectful, I will not be an asshole, but I just generally just like to be inside my little bubble just because it feels more calming to me. I'm safer. Um,
I will say Drew is really good about bringing people in. Like,
oh
I can't tell you how many times
he's
it's,
super extrovert.
yeah,
Yeah.
there've been so many times where like him and I have just like been at the park and he'll like start talking to somebody and the next thing I know, like we're all hanging out together.
Yeah.
Like that's not uncommon for Drew.
Yeah, I like that mixture of people, you know, that we have like some like
A healthy
feelers
mixture.
out, you know, for extroverts.
Yeah.
You know, introduce us to new people. So anyhow, so overnight rules obviously change. I think a lot of that also, I think like our inability to talk to other people probably got being affected by social media
Oh, absolutely.
and the apps, you know, because it's so
It's just
much
not.
safer.
It's just not what we're
Yeah.
used to. It's not our
Yeah.
our baseline for talking to people is no longer
Yeah.
initiating new communication in person. Our
Yeah.
baseline is initiating communication online.
Yeah. And then if you recognize someone out that you chatted, then that's an end. But if you haven't talked to them, like I also sometimes see people on the fucking clubs on Grindr, and I'm like, Jesus, guys,
That's
like,
wild. I know. That's so insane to me.
anyhow, what about hospitality? Do you offer like water, towels,
Always.
showers,
Always.
Ubers? Yeah.
Ubers, I wouldn't at up front just offer an Uber if I was trying to if we were still in planning stages and like trying to figure out who's going where and maybe in some way, shape, or form like travel was an issue. Like this is definitely like something like when I go back home, like and I don't really have a car or anything like that, and somebody wants me to come to them or something. It's like, okay, I'll come to you if you split the Uber with me. It shouldn't just be on me to pay for that. And like and I'll offer that vice versa the other way too. Like I can't go anywhere, they can't host, they want to travel. Yeah, I'll split an Uber with you. That's fine.
Yeah, I have offered Ubers for people that I know didn't have a car and had, you know, that was late or just challenged financially.
Yeah.
I don't know if I will personally ever request to pay for my Uber, you know, but like if I were to travel somewhere, like it just feels like I'll get there however I need to get there.
Yeah.
And I usually would just opt for whatever is more comfortable for
If
me.
it was a super cheap Uber, it was like $5 or $6 or
I mean,
even
we live in the
$10.
city. I think like the most expensive Uber is probably like $12.
Probably.
It's a small city.
Well, yeah, I'm thinking about like when you get
Yeah.
out into the suburbs and you easily
Yeah,
start hitting
no.
like
If you're
30,
if you're like
$40
South
Uber.
Bay, yeah, you know, you better have a car because there's no chance I'm
Yeah.
paying $60 for you to come over here.
But definitely always offer water.
Yeah, I always offer like I also always offer, you know, well, you know, again, like I'm flipping between core Dario from 2 years ago and like current Dario. Current Dario, obviously, we're gonna be hanging out. We probably like have a connection already established, and of course, they're gonna be offered, you know, the world.
Water, snacks.
But like core Dario, like maybe like 2 years ago, like if they will come, like I always also will offer like, hey, do you want to like hang out for a little bit? Are you comfortable? Like I'm always just and like, are you okay with what you're seeing? You know, like, do I look like my photos? Just making sure, like, especially when they're like super shy or that I can't read their like personality or behavior. Like I'm like, oh, is this person comfortable or not? Like, and I always try to give them an exit if they need the exit. You know, like I will never be like, oh, assuming let's just go to the bedroom. You know, like I'll be like, hey, are you okay? Do you need a moment? Do you want to drink something? You want to chat in the living room? You know, I always present an option. It's like, do you want to hang out here? Do you want to hang out here? Are you okay? Are you comfortable? You know, like
I would say
do you want to stay? Do you want to leave? You know, like it's just kind of like, you know.
I feel like I pretty much at baseline, unless I'm doing like the mask thing that I've talked about.
Mask.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't felt much urge to do it, but I think there's some obvious reasons for that. But I would say at baseline, I'm always kind of trying to like start off on like a couch. Like, here's a water, tell me a little bit about yourself. And then like, if it starts vibing right away, then cool, we can move on to the thing. But I always kind of,
I feel like that's the best path forward, you know. Sometimes, you know, the energy's just there. And you don't need any of that. Sometimes you don't want any of that. So I think it really depends, you know, like where you're at, you know, in general. But I do notice that like if there is connection, sex is usually better.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, if I feel safer and if I feel more connected to you, there's no way sex. And so I sometimes like just wonder how people can just like disassociate so much, you know, that they still enjoy sex completely disassociated. You know, like I don't know. I feel like for me, safety, comfort, you know, like knowing that that person like cares, you know, at least for me as a human being, it's just that so much for like how much better sex, you know, turns into.
Yeah, I mean, my initial thought would be like like speaking to like enjoying sex and like such disassociated sex would be that there's probably got to be some component of like shame or guilt around the sex and needing to separate from that.
Right. And, you know, no judgment, but therapy will help. Yeah.
Therapy will help.
Bottom line, treat it less like a transaction, more like a temporary guest experience. Like no one wants to feel like a disposable fleshlight.
Yeah.
For straight people, if you don't know what a fleshlight is, I cannot help you, but careful if you
better.
Yeah.
This is sex etiquette, remember. So everything under that context.
Next topic, hygiene and scent. Before anything goes in or out, let's talk cleanliness. I mean, obviously, we talked about it a lot. Bottoms, if you're a good bottom, you're probably hyper aware of cleanliness. So, you know, not a lot to say about that. But obviously, showering, brushing, wiping, brushing your teeth. Please just do a check. Put a fucking gum.
I literally always, even if I brush, I will brush my teeth and then put in gum and then spit it out.
Yeah, I don't like gum. I just rather like do mouthwash.
Oh yeah, I love gum. I love chewing on gum.
I hate that. It just gets to my teeth and it's just like, and then it loses the flavor.
So sad.
I remember the gum when I was a child was way better than the gum that we have these days. I feel like the gum these days.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're thinking like crazy, the like bubble tape and like the weird, like the little Band-Aid package gum, the weird like powder gum stuff. Do you remember that stuff?
No.
There was like a powder and then like you could like put as much powder in as you want. And as soon as it would start getting wet, it would congeal and turn into gum.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, there were so many different kinds of fucking gum.
You remember Pop Rocks?
Of course I remember Pop Rocks. I was never a huge fan of them.
Really?
I was never buying Pop Rocks, but you'd like go to a party and somebody would have them and you'd be like, ah.
You know, I have 2 packets on my nightstand. Because I want to try this with someone.
Making out with Pop Rocks? Getting eaten out with Pop Rocks? No.
Sucking.
Okay. I feel like all of those things need to happen. I feel like
something scary.
I don't know.
I hear it's like a really fun thing to do. So like I
know if I'm gonna try it out with.
You know what I also found? It works.
What? Why do you look like that?
Okay, so I'm gonna preface this that I get a lot of very gay advertising on Instagram. Instagram absolutely knows what I'm all about. Absolutely no doubt. And I get some of the weirdest fucking products. But recently, I got advertised a powder that goes in your tongue to nullify your gag reflex, and it was advertised. And it was advertised for dentists so they can work better on your teeth while you have like no gag reflex. But obviously, why would
no, a gay man that just also started selling it to dentists? There's no way that it worked out for. I refuse to believe that.
I was like, wait a minute. You're saying that I can like suppress my gag reflex by swallowing this like and it's like citric acid and like it's like nothing
That's
like
insane.
special. I think it's like magnesium and citric acid.
If
It's
that's
like
it, I don't even need to buy it. I could just make that shit at home.
it was so good and it tastes good. Like they made it
Yes.
like taste nice. And so like I tried it.
That's
and,
amazing. I've
and I
never
was
heard
like,
of that.
wow, this is insane.
Is it like you said it's a powder?
It's a
Okay.
powder. You
I would
put it
love
on-
like a little like mouth spray or
I
something.
mean, you could probably turn it into mouth sprays,
Yeah,
but
like a saline solution. Kind of.
yeah, and so, but like it's just like a powder. You put it on the top of your mouth for like a second or two, and then you swallow with water, and that's it.
Wow.
I was like, no, this is.
And
not
how
gonna
long
work.
does it last?
An hour.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Lay down some product names. Sponsorship number 2. That's amazing. That's because that's definitely a huge problem for me. I have such a bad gag reflex.
So it's really interesting because sometimes with really long things, how explicit are we getting on this? I mean,
You've already started. You've already said very long things. Yeah, just finish
your
the thought.
ears. In my,
But
this is sex etiquette, Sexpectations, you guys. So obviously, it's very crude language. But with big dicks, I do fine.
I feel like it's because you actually can swallow and it can go somewhere. Versus there's a certain length where it's like it's literally just hitting my uvula.
Thing. And so, and those ones like make it really difficult.
It's funny that you say that because I'm thinking about like a hookup I had a while ago, and I remember like because I have mixed feelings. Like I like to give oral. I have this thing with my jaw pops a lot, so it's like it kind of gets uncomfortable for me at a certain point. But what?
I mean, I just like I was like, where grandpa's like things get out of place.
No, it's been
my
forever.
back hurts, my neck starts like
in the middle of a hookup. My jaw
is a little bit off.
It's been a forever thing. I've dealt with it my whole life. But I would just remember because he had a big dick, and I remember like I was like, wow, this is like I have never had such an easy time sucking dick before.
Yeah.
So that
it really depends, and this is one of those situations where like longer is better, which as a bottom, I will not attest that longer is usually better.
Usually girth.
Yeah,
but my mouth can only open so bad.
Yeah.
So
but yeah.
And then other hygiene moments.
Obviously showering, unless you
specifically
disclose that that's what you're into and you want to smell the other person, which
some people love like a post-gym hookup.
Post-gym. Some people, I feel like it's such a risky bet because generally, yes, I prefer body mask over
like soap fragrance.
No, soap is fine. I can't do certain colognes, especially to be honest, cheap colognes or like
like body sprays.
Yeah, like body sprays or things that like are just extremely fake. I will have like I'm very sensitive to smell in general. And so like I will get like that nauseated feeling on the pit of my stomach. But I do prefer men smell over like colognes. But the last time that like someone was like, hey, I just got out of the gym, will that be okay? And I was like, okay, well, when was the last time you shower? Like, it's like, no, I showered this morning. I was like, okay, sure, like let's figure it out. He reeked because there's some, and I was like, I know I said yes, but like it's just because like there's also a component of how much do you sweat, how clean is your diet, like and how health, because like I feel like the sweat can actually also be like, do you drink alcohol and like now you're gonna smell like alcohol, like
there's certainly a lot of factors
that you ingest. Like, do you eat fast food all the time? Because if you do, then your smell is gonna be acidic, and for someone who's healthy, that doesn't smell good.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of that. And then there's also obviously pheromones and chemistry and like that thing that like, our bodies are seeking for the most compatible pattern through smell. And this is a study that was done. So it is true that we're seeking, unconsciously through the smell. you know, it signals, what sort of weaknesses and strength that genetic material will have in order and compatibility with yours to make, your offspring obviously better. So that exists.
Our offspring.
The offspring that will never.
It's not going to stop us from trying.
Yeah. But I think yeah, I don't know. It's a gamble, and I'm scared to try that again, and so I'd rather you shower.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a matter of, I mean, it's on both parties. There's like a level of like awareness about like your situation. Like, when have I showered? What is my like cologne situation? And then also on the other person's end, like, do you have like non-negotiable situations? Are you like, I hate BO, you cannot smell like BO? If that's the case, disclose that. If you're like, I really dislike most like colognes, body sprays, disclose that information.
Like, just take a shower, don't put anything on.
Yeah. I think that's the safest bet is take a shower, don't put anything
on. Smell like nothing.
Yeah.
If you smell like nothing, it can't be that bad. If you want to smell like BO, just work harder when sex and just sweat a little.
Yeah, it'll happen. For me, and for me, it's like it definitely I noticed a pattern of like when I am around like other men, like my BO is definitely, my smell is definitely way more potent when I'm like around other men.
Yeah. So body smell, but there's a difference between musk and musty.
Yeah.
So, all right, next topic, and this is a big one. Oh my God. Consent and communication. Let's get into what might be the sexiest part of sex. Clarity. You should do more sound effects when
I can do lots of sound effects.
I know you're really
careful what you ask
I
for.
always have like some bites of you that I put at the end of our episodes after the closing credits, because I'm like, he always make all these funny sounds, like, and I want to record. Just put them at the end.
I'm glad at least my sounds come out as cute and endearing.
So by the way, guys, if you haven't listened to the end of every episode, I always like put like a little like what is that called?
Like a little nugget?
Like a little like Easter egg.
Yeah, a little Easter egg. There you go.
Like little bits of like.
Now I'm gonna have to go listen to all of them.
I think I started on like episode 2.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, this is too good, but it doesn't fit anywhere. And like we usually like have like some trials before we start.
Some like banter back and forth.
So there's definitely extra recordings that you guys don't hear. And so like I keep the cute ones and I put them at the end. Anyhow, so enthusiastic consent, how to ask, listen, and check in. So consent for everything, you guys. If you're trying something new, if you're attempting to do something, if you're going above and beyond, I think like, we need to be very respectful about what that is. And like consenting to one action or act doesn't automatically give consent to the next thing. And it's crazy that we're still, dealing with people that don't understand that basic, reality.
Literally at Pride, I think it was at the Ascend party. Like I'm almost positive some guy at the Ascend party like just like touched my butt, and I was like, consensual touching, thank you.
I heard you said that. I remember I heard you said that.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. I feel like I will react really badly. I have a history of sexual abuse from my like 20s, and I kid you not, I obviously worked through the emotional trauma part, but the physical reaction to being touched without my consent is something that is very, very hard to restrain.
Yeah.
Because my body, especially now that like I grown a little bit larger and like I have the physical prowess to
back up,
back it up,
defend yourself.
Like, like my body will not stop from like grabbing your head and grabbing your neck and asking you to please remove yourself from my proximity. And it is a quick reaction that more often than not I have to like really contain. But if you catch me distracted, or if you catch me in a bad mood, or if you catch me in like a sensitive place, like I might not be able to contain myself. So, and you can tell me like, oh, I'm too dramatic. It's like I do not like, obviously, I will never hit anybody for no reason if I'm fully conscientious. Uh, but if my physical self feels a danger and that is a trigger for me, like I might respond in a way that is not fun for anybody. So
Yeah, my reaction is a little bit more like lock up and back. Well, it's just to retreat into myself, to like handle it myself, because I don't think I'm gonna probably be able to confront the person. That felt really good to be able to just like bypass somebody and just like consensual touching. Thank you.
That was a really good example of how to properly address it. I'm not saying, again, like for me, it's like, yes, I have the ability to think through how I would like to act. But when you're triggered, like sometimes you don't have control over it. And that's the part that scares me about myself, And that's the part that scares me about other people not asking for consent. And it's kind of funny because also at that party that we were together, there was this one guy that just was not reading the room, and like he kept trying to dance with anybody in our group.
Oh yeah, that guy.
And it was really obnoxious. And I'm like, okay, we are moving away from you because we don't want this energy that you're bringing in. Like, it wasn't a fun, like, oh, I want to like dance with you guys. It was like, I want to fuck one of you, like whoever gives me attention. And we were all kind of just trying to dance away.
We just like kept reconformulating our ball blob and like moving around.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, well, now it's in the middle, and now we're just gonna try to find our friends again. So, and like he was not reading the room, and it is so funny to me because, listen, if something you can take away from this episode is if someone is pretending to not see you, that does not mean that they don't see you.
I think
if you see it from your perspective, it's like, oh, they probably didn't see me and they do want to like dance with me. No, trust me. We all are hyper aware of where you're at and that you're giving energy.
Yeah.
And if you're not receiving that energy back, just back away.
Yeah.
Like we're trying to avoid you a really bad rejection.
Yeah.
Like it will make it more uncomfortable for everybody.
Yeah.
So don't double down.
I think that like maybe the other side of that, but like kind of the same point is like if somebody is into you, you will have at least a decent idea about it. Like if I'm into somebody, I'm not going to avert my gaze from them when I see them looking at me. I'm going to look back at them and meet their eyes and like give them and then I'll give you a smirk. Like it's like people who are just completely unaware of body language or like the social cues of it. It's like, I get it. Some of us have some things that like interrupt that a little bit, but if you are, it's just like there's.
I think like in the gay world, we will give you signs.
Yeah, somebody there's gonna be something. Somebody's gonna give you a clue if they're interested, and if you're not getting that clue, back off.
And that's kind of how I operate too. It's like I will give energy to a cute person, and I will try to like get a little bit closer. And if that person moves away, I don't double down.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, okay, thank you. Sorry, like I'll just move away and like. That's it. Like there's a lot of dicks in the bay.
And there's a lot of dicks in the bay. Yeah. Any interaction that you have to like that you're forcing, even if it comes to fruition in some way, it's not going to be satisfying because somebody involved in that situation is not actually into it.
Yeah, and that's the thing with consent, like aside from like some of the more kinky concepts, there is like a whole consensual non-consent reality that exists. Even those require consent. So that's why it's called consensual non-consent. But for the most part, you don't want to push boundaries, especially when it comes to sex, because sometimes and this is interesting because I sort of some of the threads on Reddit, and I see this a lot where like the more dominant person will push through boundaries, and the more less dominant person, the more quiet or like lacks confrontation, will put up with things that then they later regret. And so just ask yourself if you want to be the person that someone else's regret,
Yeah.
like just be mindful of those things.
That's a really good way. That's a really good, I think, lens to ask people to put it through. It's like, do you want your actions to be regretted by the person
that you have sex
that you're putting them on to? And I think that, like, in addition to like this like um boundary of like asking for consent, also as the person who's like asking for consent of something, like make sure you're being aware of like how they're responding, because just because they say yes doesn't, if you are in any way doubting their consent, like double check in. Like that's a situation where you double down on, like, make sure that like if you don't want it, that's cool, we can try another time, or like be a little bit more aware.
Yeah, and I think like, you get good at like reading the energy and seeing where things go, but it does take practice, and again, like over communicating, especially if it's the first time or it's going to be the only time, like just make sure that like, you're on the same page. And this kind of sort of goes into the next topic, which is like limits. If you have something in mind, if you want to try something new, if you want to push limits, you want to ask, very specifically and clearly where that limit is. You don't want to wait until like you're mid thrust to like figure it out if that person is into it and not, and like find out after, you're pushing some of those boundaries and limits. So I think, again, I think the general topic here is communication.
Yeah.
Like,
and like but preemptive communication, because exactly I earlier when we were talking about something, I was like envisioning like somebody like exactly mid thrust asking somebody about like consent, like maybe there was not initial consent for like a breeding and the guy's wearing a condom, and in the middle of it he's getting ready to come and he asks if he can take it off and breed you, even though you preemptively agreed that that was not a thing. Like I think that that's a big no because
I mean, I think like that's that brings so much into for me, because I have had, pre-prep reality where condoms, were literally a safety concern. I have had guys puncturing their condoms so that they will break inside. And it's a lot harder to kind of sort of figure it out, especially, for the bottom, what's happening. Obviously they're enjoying it more, but um and I have a guy that like literally he was even aware that he had an STD and that happened. And then like at the end, he's like, oh, the condom broke and you should go get tested. And I was like seriously?
As soon as it breaks, you say something.
Yeah, like you are more
so
aware of what was happening. And so I was 28 when that happened. And again, it was like back in the day where like you had to wait like 2 weeks to even get tested about HIV.
And then,
And it was like, and then you had to wait a month for the results, and it was just like the month and a half of hell, and I'm like, what the hell happened? Like, so
yeah, that's so fucked up. I'm sorry that happened to you.
Yeah, what you gonna do? Live and learn.
Yeah. Hunt him down.
Yeah. I hope he's well. Who knows? Toys etiquette. I don't know. This one is a funny one. I don't know if I have much to say here, but it's interesting that we put it as a topic. Like
I mean, I think it just boils back into like the kinks, or if you have something specific you want to try. Yeah.
I don't think toys have ever been a thing in my sexual reality. I think like only once one person wanted to play with toys. It was kind of interesting to me because if you're here, I don't really need that. Uh, when I'm
But they
alone.
liked it.
But they want to, and again, like, for me, it's one of those things is like, if you want to do something that turns you on, I'm probably gonna be turned on by that.
Yeah, if I'm into you, yeah, absolutely.
Like, I want you to have fun, and if I can somehow support that, that turns me on. So that's an energy I have. Not everybody has that energy. Some people is like, I want to do whatever I want to do, and that's what turns me on. And then that's a different energy. So yeah, again, if that's what you're into and you communicated it, I'm probably gonna be into it.
Yeah, I would definitely say that sentiment resonates with me as well.
Sharing toys feels really weird to me. So I don't know, but some people are into that.
When you say sharing toys, what do you mean?
Like one person uses it and then the other person uses it. I guess depends on the toy too that we're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm specifically talking about insertive toys.
Dildos.
Yeah.
So in this,
I like how I'm trying to be like very like doctor
etiquette,
doctor language.
An insertable device for the anal cavity. So I guess in this scenario, it would be like two bottoms sharing.
Well, I actually had a quote unquote top that wanted me to use a toy on him, and I was like, sure, we can try it. He didn't want to use it on me because obviously he got his thing for me, but I did, and I was not into it because obviously that doesn't turn me on.
Yeah.
Like especially seeing a top getting,
Yeah.
a dildo, like it's like, oh, I'm glad you're enjoying this. I'm going to throw away this toy afterwards because it will never go inside of me. So that was kind of more of my thing in the moment,
Okay.
And then like he also like made sure that after he left, he told me that he didn't enjoy any of it. And I'm like, okay, well, you guys have left at any point.
Oh, like the whole hookup?
Yeah. And then also I was like, okay, well, also you should have disclosed that you wanted to like get fucked by a toy, like
this is a scenario
difference, also for me, because like I am not burst, and if you're burst, you should have disclosed that to me.
Yeah, this is a scenario, a good example of how poor communication results in an unsatisfactory encounter for everybody.
Yeah. Like it's like he should have told me ahead of time, like, this is what I'm into. I want to fuck you, and also I want to be fucked by one of your toys, like that's the thing. But like surprising me in the middle of it, I'm like, sure, I'll try it. And my brain automatically was like,
this isn't gonna go well.
I don't think I'm gonna be turned like this. We can try it. Like I was open to it. Obviously, like if I wouldn't have been open, like I would not have done it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it felt a little bit like left field. And then obviously the energy shifted afterwards. And then I wasn't even into him trying to fuck me because I was like,
that was such a turn off.
It was such a turn off that kind of killed the mood for me. And so then after that, like everything just kind of like devolved and it was a little bit forced. And then I ended up calling it out at the end. I was like, hey, I think we should call it because, this is not what I had in mind. Obviously, it wasn't what you had in mind either. You wanted something very specific that, I wasn't aware of. And I could have given it to you, but like I needed maybe like
some mental preparation.
Yeah, mental preparation, thinking about this scenario.
Or like if there was a moment to like talk about it, maybe there's some compromise where it's like you can have the toy being used on you, but I don't necessarily need to be the person. Like you can like have a plug or something like that.
Yeah,
and
something
where I don't actually have to do this thing. Like we're both kind of getting what we want.
It felt like a chore.
Yeah.
To me, it's like I was like, oh.
Well, you're a bottom, so. Wow, this is so much work.
Hey, I do a fair share.
You have plenty of muscles to be able to make it happen.
It really depends. If they want me to work for it, I will work for it. Okay. Most people don't want me on top.
It was because the work was happening, but you weren't feeling the pleasure.
No, I think it was just more like I don't get into butts that much, you know. There have been a couple of butts that I found really attractive, but
it's never been like I want to put things inside of it.
Yeah, the visual aspect of it. Even when I'm watching, movies, like I'm like, I don't really need to see the like details of like just the zoom in part.
Show me the butt.
I mean, go for. I mean, I please, everybody that is listening, I love men that love butts. You understand that? Please exist. I want you to exist. I am not that person.
Just not your priority body part.
Right, exactly. But I will absolutely obsess over your dick. It's oh my God. This is I keep thinking about who's listening to this now, and I'm like, oh well, that's all out there.
Yeah.
We are exposed.
Yeah. We're raw.
All right, let's move on from that. Oh, this topic. Oh my God. Okay, so sex labels.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Top, bottom, spurs, or no labels at all. And we've been debating this now for a couple of weeks, what are the opinions? We came across actually, our
Spittleneck.
yeah, Spittleneck, our thirst trap of this episode. Posted about how labels are detrimental to our sexual health and our community in general,
and our sense of self-worth, and
and it was a very polarizing topic in the comments, and and Ryan and I sort of got into these debates with internet people.
I'm very used to this because I do a lot of this with people in regards to health and nutrition information online. It was a little newer, familiar territory for
this at all. I just completely ignore people
the whole time. He's messaging me and he's being like, "This is why I don't fucking do this shit."
Because I could see how people also don't know how to debate the topic, and they just kind of sort of create strawmans, or they go into these biases, and it makes me really angry because I'm like, well, that's a different problem. That's not what we're talking about. But now you're putting it on this other, it's I get more in the debate and biases, and how people don't know how to actually have a productive discussion about a single topic because they conflate, or it just goes into other places. But anyhow, I just for myself, I don't think my label limits my sexual exploration. In fact, the moment that I fully embrace what I like, which aligns with being a bottom, and again, I make that definition what works for me. Also, it's not that this is a limiting thing. It's a very clear way to explain, hey, if you're gonna have sex with me, there's gonna be a big component of these things that I really, really, really like, and a big component of this other things that I am not going to be into, and so a way to obviously oversimplify that without getting into a whole script about how things need to follow once we meet, makes it easy to communicate with others, right? So I don't understand, for people that think that labels are not important, I have a revelation for you. You are versatile. If you don't care if you top or bottom, you are versatile. And that is also a label. And so I think my problem with that video is that he was focusing only on top and bottoms. And I'm like, no, there's more labels than that. It's not that there's just a polarity and it has to be one or the other. You can be burst, you can be a burst bottom, or you can be a burst top, and within that there's also a million other added labels that you can help identify and clarify.
Well, but to add a little bit more nuance to complicate the statement that if you're down for whatever or no label, you're verse, I think that maybe not be 100% true, because I'm verse and I want to do both. So if you're just a bottom, it's not going to work for me. If you're just, if all I'm looking for is to top, then that works. If all I'm looking for in that moment is to bottom, that works. But when I'm looking for,
but you're more looking for burst.
So that's what I mean when I say, when you get to the quote unquote no label, I think the way that my brain processes that is, I can do both, and I don't specifically need one or the other.
you don't specifically want to do one or the other.
I don't specifically want to do one or the other. I'm okay with whatever comes my way. I think that's where like kind of the no label component comes in. I think it's maybe just like a different word than no label.
Okay. I think it's like burst for burst versus like burst for anything.
Yeah.
You know, and so again, like you can specify what works for you.
True.
I actually don't like burst energy.
Well, so then maybe
sex. So I'm a bottom for top because bottom for burst does not work for me in the way that it works for me.
I think that then maybe the takeaway that I'm getting is, and maybe this is something we get to post with our potential bonus content that you guys might all get to hear, so keep an eye out. Is that not only should our like part of the if it's like an online profile or if it's a communication,
that is a good feature.
Not only are you stating what your position is, but you're stating what the position you're looking for is.
Yeah. Oh my God, you blew my mind. Yeah, this is what we need.
There it is. We're gonna have a conversation with them about that.
We need to have a conversation about this, like, because exactly that. It's like when burst guys come to me online, I don't want to entertain you because I have had, trust me, my fair share of burst energy, and it just doesn't feel the same because subconsciously you are wanting something else that I am not naturally, organically providing you, you know, and so burst stops generally feels okay unless they're like very much like oral obsessed, which is not something that I personally like receiving. And so but generally like burst stops or tops work pretty well, but top bottom energy, it's so much different because all of the things that you like are all of the things that I like, and all of the things that you like I know you really enjoy, and so it makes me want to do those things more for you, and so it grows into a level of like organic, you know,
sexual compatibility.
Compatibility that is just not there when I'm with other people. And it's not that the other sex is awful, you know, like it's just that it's not the same. It just doesn't feel organic or natural, you know, to me.
And I think it's totally within each of our rights to like quote unquote demand that or require that
or want that, you know, like that. You know, like and you know, and sometimes I'm gonna be honest too, it's like if I want just cuddles and touch, you know, like I might not care so much, you know, like because I'm not really looking for like, you know, mind-blowing sex. But you know, if I'm going to date someone, you know, I think that feels like I want to make sure also that this person that is with me, it's getting what they want, and that generally will be a better compatibility, you know, than if I date someone that like I feel like half of their desires are not being met by me. Because, you know, again, I'm a monogamous person, so like it would just feel like, oh, now we need to open the relationship so you
can satisfy your needs.
Yeah, you know, and so, you know, like I will feel like I'm not able to fulfill someone's need, and that will probably be heavy.
I mean, realistically, you can't because there's something that they want that you can't.
And again, like I could force myself to do it.
Why should you?
But again, it's like that thing is like I don't want to be performing in bed. I want us to like be ourselves,
exactly,
and then through that process, we are both getting what we really want to. And so, yeah, this is an interesting one, and I think that also, you know, some of the comments that we were getting on that video were about how this is a widespread problem, the labels particularly, and I couldn't really get someone to really explain what the problem was. Was the problem like communicating your preferences?
Yeah, well, the thing that they kept saying that they couldn't like elaborate on was like, oh, it's just important. I'd rather be present in the moment than worried about being caught up on a label. And then it's like, okay, that's great. But when you apply that logic to like actual real world situations, then what you're telling me is that we shouldn't communicate preferences until we are in the bedroom. And then the moment we're in the bedroom, then it's okay to communicate it. And then if we determine that we're not sexually compatible, then it's okay to walk away from the situation. So the idea that you're presenting to me is that we should spend a lot of time time just not talking about something
not talking about what you like or you don't like.
And then when it does finally come up, oh, now it's relevant and okay. Oh,
And
but
then
now we're
what
not
happens?
compatible. So we've gone on 17 dates and like,
and then what happens, right? Like it's like okay, well then you force yourself to be on there. And again, if you feel that you're not forcing yourself to adopt any role, guess what? You're verse.
yeah,
Like if you can organically go with the flow,
you're not just verse, you're verse for anything.
you're verse for anything.
You're verse for anything.
Yeah. And so that was the thing, is like it's like we have a word for people that can do anything. Like it exists. It's also a label, unfortunately.
Well, but the problem is even saying like I don't have a label. That's a label.
That's a label.
Labelless.
Yeah.
I have to refer to you in some way, shape, or form. Like
it's like, well, I don't mind if you're a boy or a girl or trans. It's like, so then you're pansexual.
yeah.
Well, no, I don't care about labels. It's like, well, okay, but we do have a label for that.
But it exists. Yeah, I think like if anything, I think a lot of what was happening in those comments is it's guys who are insecure about what we just talked about earlier, already a small dating pool,
Yeah.
but they feel insecure about their options getting even more narrowed.
But again, it's like that thing. It's like, I'm sorry, like if you are Burst and you're lying to me, because I'm bottom for Burst up, like who's having fun?
Yeah.
Are you having fun?
Are you having fun tricking me into like doing this thing?
Yeah, it's like, do you want me to like just like the energy is gonna be there? I kid you not. Like I had a bottom one slide, and I maybe talk about this in another episode, but he lied, because he found me so hot that he just wanted to have sex with me.
I think this was a really early episode. Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I remember you talking about it.
He came over, and I could tell within like 2 seconds, I'm like, this person is not interested in my butt at all.
Yeah.
His person is not a top. And I pressed and pressed, and he kept denying until like, finally he's like, yeah, I'm actually a bottom. And I'm like, okay, who, like, I can tell.
This is the wrong place for you.
It's like, why are you here? So, well, you're really hard. And like, I'm like, okay, you tricked me into like coming over here with expectations, and now you cannot meet those expectations, which is
now I have to reject you in person.
And like, what? You just wasted both of our time. Like,
Yeah.
what did you get out of this situation? It's not fun. Like, and like, also for me, it's like, I don't want you to have sex if you don't want to have sex with me. Like, if my goal is to trick you so you have sex with me, that is not fun. I want you to have sex with me because you want to have sex with me.
Yeah, like how do you even get hard in that moment? Like I would just be like so insecure and in my head, and
I tricked you into my then.
I can't let them find out. What all I need to do or say next?
Yeah, it was like, I can't perform for you. Like I'm not gonna pretend to be a top because you're like a hot bottom. Like I'm like, oh no, I'm sorry, I will not be able to meet your needs. I don't know.
It's just like a very confounding scenario that we will never be able to really make heads or tails of, unfortunately.
All right, moving on from this topic, but I would love to hear if you guys want to like leave comments about like labels, because I feel like it's a very charged.
Yeah, what are your guys' feelings about labels? Do you feel any qualms about how you identify or how other people identify? Do you feel like it gets in the way of your your experiences with other people? Because we're super curious.
Yeah. Who's in charge? Dom, sub, honoring switches? How do you think about this?
I mean, I think if Dom sub dynamics are really important to you, in my experience, it usually comes up. It very rarely does not come up during like the planning stages.
Oh, interesting.
I feel like it's very rare on the spot that like all of a sudden like Dom sub stuff comes in. Only maybe in the sense of like when somebody like is like into like choking and stuff, because I'm not into that at all. So I don't like when people ask me to do that for them. That would be the only one that I would say comes up on the spot for me really regularly. But I think most of the time the Dom sub dynamic usually gets worked out in the planning phases. I would hope so.
I think like I started like moving away from that. When I was younger, I was probably more into the fantasy of being a sub. And like I even fantasize about like the slave shit and like all that stuff. But it was mostly like I would watch stuff like that. I don't know if I will ever trust anybody enough to like really fully relinquish my agency to
Well,
someone.
I think that also when you get into like kind of like the slave stuff or like the like really sub stuff, it's not even just a matter of like relinquishing. It's also there's like a self-degradation element to it, which is just like not
there was a lot of that.
like that component of the dynamic is where you lose me.
That stuff was actually from being deep in depression for me, feeling absolutely shitty about myself, drug use, I'm talking about like probably mid-20s, a lot of unresolved trauma, a lot of unresolved abuse, sexual abuse, emotional abuse. And I think like all of that sort of created the perfect storm to feel so low self-esteem that it was like a natural like fantasy.
Well, you were almost more comfortable feeling insecure.
That way, the feeling good about
because your brain was like, I don't believe
none of the other stuff will be believable.
Yeah.
This is the only thing that I believe truly you could be. And so I think like, now 20 years later, it feels ridiculous, to even think about those things, to the point that like I wouldn't mind role playing into a sub role. I tried being a bottom dom, which just did not work. Like someone asked me once to like tie them up, tie them up. And then I had another person that was a soft top. Yeah. And like it was really funny. I mean, like, I don't mind taking control momentarily through, especially if the top is putting a lot of effort and work and they're sweating and tired. I'm like, I'll just lay down there for a minute. I'll do some work on you. This person wanted all of it to just be completely helpless. And like, I think it was actually quite fast because I was like, oh, you're done. Like, it's just like, I literally like jump on top and they were like, done. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess
I thought that was going to take a lot more work. You really built that up.
Did it do it for me? No. But even for the sub role, like, I don't even bring it up because it is such a like per person thing that needs to come out really organically.
Agreed.
And I feel that if I bring it up prior, a lot of tops feel maybe the pressure to act it out.
I was gonna say, as just as you were starting, I was like taken back to our conversation with Solo about like not wanting to disclose like specifics of like what I'm looking for in a partner, because then people try to fit into a mold.
Oh yeah. Shout out to Solo.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't like people that force themselves to act a particular way in bed because it feels not genuine. And if it doesn't feel genuine, then it doesn't actually satisfy that thing for me that like you're doing something that you really enjoy and like, which turns me on, right? And so so I try to keep that out of the conversation. And if then the dynamic leads towards that organically, then I find that a lot harder.
100%.
Because it's not something that I fully need to have a good experience in bed. Like it, like even if it's just more normal sex or more vanilla sex these days, I don't really mind, as long as there's connection. I think that it can be really hot. As long as there's like cuddles and like build up and foreplay and like lots of kissing and a lot of safety and
touching and groping
and like and really passion, like
laughing even.
Oh yeah,
giggling during sex. Yeah,
it's so good. Like, but as a Latino, like I'm very passionate. The last person I was with was a white person. I don't think I told you about this.
Oh no, because I was as soon as you said white person, I was like,
yeah, and so he was Australian though.
Okay.
He was a really good kisser.
Yeah.
I made a really rude comment.
Oh no.
Because I was like, oh my God, a white person that knows how to kiss.
Oh yeah. See, I wouldn't have been Did you think, like, what do you think he took that in a weird way?
No, I don't
No,
know.
I can tell you as a white person, if somebody said, I would be like, yes, I am the best of white people. Like,
I validated.
I am the best white person.
I hope he didn't. I mean, I meant that as a compliment, but then I was like, oh, dude, that's not racist of me.
No, I don't.
Yeah, but like as a Latino, I think like there's a huge difference. Sorry, white man, to break this down to you. Practice your kissing. Put some love into it. Put some passion. Build it out from your core. I don't know where it comes from.
And also
for me.
read the lips, read the person. Like, you know, like it's not just like you making out with a thing.
Yeah, it's a dance, right?
Yeah.
It's definitely a dance. Kissing every person is unique.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I obviously there's adjustments that I do depending on who I'm kissing.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I generally there's a big difference between kissing anyone that has a lot of melanin on your body versus kissing people that don't have melanin on their bodies.
It's so funny because this just came up as because I was just, you know, talking with a recent makeout buddy about making out, and he asked, because I said something about the mustache being new, and he was like, oh, do you have to like make out differently? And I was like, should I be? I was like, do you have any complaints? Because I'm certainly not trying any different tactics now that I have.
Probably, huh?
I don't know. I'm not getting.
I don't know. I don't.
The only thing that happens is now occasionally we have to take breaks to pull hairs out of our mouth.
I mean, that happens in sex a lot.
Yeah, so I would say that that's really that's the only difference that is happening on my end that I've noticed. But that was and the recipient is very much enjoying. So
that's nice. I love facial hair, especially like a good beer. I feel like it feels really nice.
I like I like there being hair there.
Where I rather you have a beer than have like a 5 o'clock shadow. That shit is like
it hurts. That hurts.
Oh my god, that is like sandpaper.
Oh my god, and then when you have two boys, both boys have it. Oh my god,
yeah.
The abrasion. I've literally walked away with like,
to be honest,
abrasion burn.
One of my favorite things about being gay is just like hair on hair. Like, yeah, there's like this beautiful French man. Maybe I can make him my thirst trap next time. He just like he's just really pretty and talks about different French phrases.
The end.
This is all he does. And I always comment on him, and I'm pretty sure he's straight, but I always comment to him like just like really thirsty comments, very cute, flirty, thirsty comments, and he always like replies. So he's like very open, and like I love that about him. I had to Google his thing because I don't remember his last name, but his handle. But anyhow, he made something about like how the sound of beer is cold, and I was like, oh, I wish it was our two beers rubbing against each other making that sound.
I'm trying to ASMR my mustache for you guys.
Weird. I don't know if, I hope you
did it work? Can you guys hear this?
Should I try my beer?
Hey, wait, oh
my god.
Oh, there it is. For the cat.
Yeah, weirdo.
That was funny.
Weirdo. Okay. All right.
How did we end up here?
I feel like we talked about kinks already. Like, bring them up without shame. You know?
Yeah. If you're like, again, general theme that we're kind of like running through here is like, be communicative about what you're looking for.
Be authentic and communicate that.
Yeah,
I mean, communication is kindness. That's what Brené Brown says. It's kind to yourself. It's kind to others, and that's the path to being authentic. And authenticity, it's your best path to good sex.
Yeah, like you're not gonna get what you want by trying to trick somebody. Yeah. You are going at the best. Well, I mean, best /
from experience.
At the, yeah, exactly. At the quote unquote best case scenario, because I feel weird saying best because I don't think it's a good thing to do. But like, you're gonna end up with like a very version of what you're looking for.
The most you will get is a lukewarm experience.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
And also, if you're on the other side of this, it's like, don't shame people for their kinks, and also learn how to say,
no,
that's not for me.
Yeah, no, I'm not interested in that.
Yeah,
maybe there's something else we can try.
Yeah, like just compromise, not compromise, but like, negotiate.
I think that there should definitely be negotiation that can happen.
One thing is not negotiable is consent. So
consensual touching.
It's an ongoing dance. So the best approach is to talk about it. All right, so when the vibes are off, not every hookup hits. What then? Can you stop midway?
Yeah, I absolutely think so.
Yeah.
I think you can stop at the door. I think you can
stop people at the door.
I think you can stop people at the door. I think you can stop people on the couch before you're in the bed. I think you can stop people on the bed. Yeah. I think that it just runs down to this, like, communicate. Like, if somebody shows up and for whatever reason you're not feeling it anymore, communicate to them, but be kind about it. Like, there's no need to hurt anybody. Think about how you would want to receive that information.
And this is, again, there's like such a wide range of experiences here. I had one person that showed up at my door, and we had already hooked up once, and it wasn't good. And I don't know, he didn't remember. Like, I can't imagine that he didn't recognize the apartment building.
Super specific tattoo.
Yeah, like the photo. I do feel like this person was just trying to do a double take, but at no point like he ever like mentioned it. I have a photographic memory, which is another thing. Like, if I seen your photo before, I will remember you. So either this person had like new photos, somehow he shows up, I recognize him, and I was like, we met before, right? And he's like, no, I don't think so. I was like, I think so, and I don't think it's gonna work out for me. I'm so sorry, and so, I was kind. It was literally at the door. Like, this person did not walk past that, because I was like, no, I'm not trying this again.
And that's okay, guys.
Yeah. And I felt bad, but like, I was like, I'd rather tell you now than just pretend and get you to the couch and then tell you in the couch, like, it's not going to happen. And then I had another one. I kid you not. Sometimes it's just so funny. I don't know where this person came from. He was supposed to, come through. Handsome guy, but I don't know. He was like doing a drag show prior, but like, he had like this heels, and he comes in and like, oh, hey, girl. And like, he was like, just sass coming out of them. He got to the refrigerator, and I was like, no, I don't think this is gonna work for me. There was so much sass. Again, no shame, but like, obviously, like, not my flavor. Oh, and I actually learned 2 words on this topic of flamboyancy. There is something called androsexual and gynosexual.
Okay, I've not heard of gynosexual.
Yeah, I feel like we don't have do we have a ChatGPT? Because I don't want to fuck this up. But I just learned because someone had it on their profile, and I'm like, I have no idea what this means.
Do you want to circle back to it you want to talk about it? I was gonna say, we can talk about it now, or if you want to look at it.
Related to what I'm about to say, which is like, I am attracted to masculinity. And, for all, again, there are extremes to these, right? Like, I am not promoting this whole concept of bro straight acting and emphasis on the acting.
Well, there's a difference between masculinity and like toxic, stereotypical,
pretentious action, or inauthentic, forced, masculine. Like, I'm not the most masculine person that exists, but I'm also not the most feminine, know, and I do present masculine in terms of like just my outward expression. And so I am attracted to that, and I'm not I know that it's another probably heated topic because I know a lot of people just feel like, you have to embrace all sorts of things. But I really understood this through, uh, yeah. So
I have a guess, but
androsexual, the
would be
definition.
would be probably masculine and feminine
Yeah,
qualities.
I think so. I'm just going to.
Well, because I'm thinking of androgynous.
Androsexual is a sexual orientation where a person is attracted to men, males, or masculinity in general.
That's androsexual?
That's androsexual. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was very confused.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't have thought that. I would have thought that andro would have been like representing both qualities.
And gynosexual, sometimes spelled gynsexual, is a term describing someone who's sexually attracted to femininity, regardless of the gender of the person expressing it. So it's not, neither of these two things are about the
gender.
The gender themselves is about how they present, which is really interesting because I'm gonna speak for you, which I shouldn't do, but like it does seem that you are you actually like some of the more feminine qualities in a man. And just mostly because you sent me photos of people and I'm like, oh great.
I like both.
Yeah, you enjoy that.
I want both.
And I, generally when you send me those photos, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not attracted to this male in the way that they're presenting. And so I think like, I don't know, I think that that's a fair thing to say. And I know that a lot of our community like has very strong, feelings about femininity, and there's also obviously what is the word I'm trying to look, like we look down to certain feminine qualities too. Not, I'm talking in general,
like
right?
we look down on them.
Yeah. Like there's still like some of the patriarchal, like
absolutely,
hierarchy that also
I think that's
reflected.
I think that's where the issue is like there's a difference between being attracted to masculine qualities and like not attracted to feminine qualities, and looking down on somebody because they exhibit feminine qualities and thinking that makes them unattractive. Like there's a difference. Like there's a difference between I'm not attracted to that and that's
respect
and
it.
that's ugly.
And respect it. Yeah, exactly. Like you can still like, respect people for who they are and how they want to express themselves. Exactly. It's absolutely fine. And one of the things that I fucking loved about Pride when we were at the park is that I was just observing everyone's expression, and that brought me so much joy, like almost like 2 tears a couple of times, where I was just like, I'm so glad that we can live in San Francisco and that we all can just be whoever the fuck we are, and that is the fucking rainbow, right? Like, because some people are like super feminine and flamboyant and colorful and like loud and sassy, and it's fantastic to see. And there are some other people that were with their shorts and like their muscles and just like being like super stiff and like just being also really joyful. And I was like, I love all of this, like that you can just be whoever the fuck you want, and you can be attracted whoever the fuck you want, like you can have your preferences. And I think like also the issue is, are you realized enough that you have given everything an opportunity to play with your energy and see if that was your thing? And I think like that maybe where openness, vulnerability, being open to new experiences kind of sort of come into play, instead of just being judgmental, rejectful. Is that even a word?
Rejectful, sure.
You guys,
it's the English language.
Yeah.
If it's not a word yet, it'll be in the dictionary
tomorrow. I made it. So
I do
anyhow,
all the time.
Like have you, explore everything that you are and everything that is available to you without your own self-created crystal cage, right? Or your own, limitations. And I think like for myself at my age where I am in life, I give a lot of things that I wanted to try and things that I wasn't thinking that I wanted to try. I give them a chance, and they're just not for me. And again, for the person that came through that door so joyfully and sassy and happy, it wasn't a rejection of who he is as a person. It was just like,
There's not sexual compatibility
I
here.
don't think I'm gonna be turned on by this, so I'd rather just cut it short now. It's like, hey, so, like, I don't think this is gonna work for me. Like all of this flavor didn't come through our conversation. And and it's not like it was a judgment on them, but it was just more about like sexual compatibility.
Exactly.
And so you're allowed your preferences.
Yeah.
Again, as you mentioned earlier, like you need to be kind.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So anything else to add on that topic?
I don't think so. Let's bounce back to our.
I lose my document. Oh, it's right here.
I think that we were not there yet. Here, vibes.
Oh, the vibes are off. Yeah. And then if you're in bed, like usually sometimes it's not working out. So what I tend to do is either like, hey, like this is not really working, or like I think we're forcing this a little too far. Like, would you be willing to? Like sometimes I want to cuddle, with the person, or you want to chat.
Yeah, let's take a break.
Or also like sometimes I have to call it and just be like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm not feeling that.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I do apologize. Like it's never my intention to like go through all of this and not, culminate.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can always say, no, I'm not into it. Just bow out gracefully. I think it's
be kind, be respectful, be honest.
And if you're in the receiving end, yeah, it doesn't feel good, especially if you are into it, or you're not reading the room properly and you still want to continue and like you feel rejected. Just know, like, it happens. It's not anybody's like, wish to like have a bad experience,
Yeah, well, and I mean, you kind of like said it, and I wanted to bring attention to it in the moment, but regardless, like most people are going to feel bad in some way, shape, or form about having to reject somebody.
Yeah.
Like most of us do not nobody likes being rejected.
Yeah.
Like understand that whoever's probably doling out rejection to you is most likely like also feeling bad about it. So like nobody's out to get you. Nobody, for the most part, people aren't trying to be mean. So like just as you need to gracefully provide that information, like the recipient should like do their best to gracefully receive that information.
Yeah. I had a couple of experiences where like it wasn't received well, and then that person started lashing out insults, or and it's just like, all right, well, now I have to be aggro and kick you out of my house because I'm not gonna sit here and receive you like insulting me or start screaming or freaking out, like I'm sorry, like honestly, now you need to get the fuck out of here because now I'm in like safety red space,
get out of my space.
So anyhow, like just be graceful and be like, I'm okay, I'm sorry, and
let's all just agree to treat each other with respect and grace.
Be honest. You don't have to be hurtful, but you can be honest. So you always owe them kindness, just not a performance. Nobody wants to be with nectar. All right, another interesting topic, and I feel like we're gonna have really interesting perspectives on this one. Safety and status. Let's talk about like sexual health, because it includes protection. I'm not talking about condoms simply, but just actually protecting each other, caring for each other. So STI disclosure before, during, and after. And I think we can probably also talk about HIV disclosure, and undetectable means untransmittable.
Undetectable means untransmittable.
Yeah. So when disclosure happens?
Well,
should it happen?
I mean, I think if we're talking in the realm of, I think it's up to the people. Like if you have specific concerns about like STIs, ask. And if you get asked, be honest. Like I don't ever bring that up. I already I'm not going to get HIV. I'm already positive and undetectable. If an STI, I just assume that you're not out trying to hook up with people if you have an STI. I take Doxy Prep, so I'm using that, but I also get tested regularly. So, I mean, like, could I bring it up, be more proactive about bringing it up? Sure. I just don't necessarily feel super obligated to. And I've been fine coasting about it that way. And then I think, I mean, if you have an STI and you want to hook up with somebody, you should be pretty honest about that in the beginning.
It's just I don't know. Every time I had an STI and living in the
I've
like
never done.
bending process, like I don't feel sexual. I kind
I
of feel like
know.
oh my god.
Well, it's also like I don't like to have sex with condoms. So if I have an STI, I don't want to have sex because I don't want to use a condom. So
Right. Well, I mean, I guess the thing is like, does anybody ever want to have sex while having an STI? And if that's you, please do disclose
oh
that.
my gosh.
But I guess also like if you disclose that, you're probably not gonna get laid. I do remember having it's a really interesting disclosure. Like someone actually told me online that they had herpes.
Okay. Well, that's good
General herpes.
because that's one you can't get rid of.
Yeah. So it's one that you can get rid of. And I have to go do research because I really didn't understand. And I
What
got
that meant for you.
right. And and we know also for bottoms to get herpes in there is just painful as fuck. At least I know because I met other bottoms that had that. And so that's a really bad one because it's not curable and it is also really painful.
Yeah.
And it really kind of fucks you up for like long-term period of time. And this is just, so I got really scared about it. I didn't know enough. And I was like, I asked more questions. Like, I don't understand. Why are you telling me? And, like, is that a risk for me? It's like, no, I'm on this medicine, but also like, if you were to have sex with me, it will be, like an extra layer of security for you to take something. And he kind of like mentioned whatever this drug was that I needed to take in order to
some kind of antibiotic or
something just to kind of like be extra like layer of protection. But then I was like, oh, so you don't want to use condoms? He's obviously he didn't. So like that was kind of sort of the trade-off that he was trying to do. And then it kind of faded. Like not because I didn't want to, it's just because like grinder and then like we never talked again and then
the flakiness of
and then it just never happened and then like I don't know, I lost touch with this person, but I do remember that I was like, oh okay, but like I loved that he would like I actually thanked him like as soon as he disclosed that. I was like, oh, thank you for letting me know, like, and help me make a choice and a thing. And like I was able to go online and research and understood. I was like, okay, well the risk is actually minimal as long as he doesn't have an open door, like a breakout. And so, and he kind of said that he didn't, and that he is on this medication that suppresses those things. So like, it was like overall, like it was just like, oh, this was a really nice consensual.
And you got to learn something.
Like I learned, and and so I don't know, like that is the energy, like that is the
100%.
And so I remember having that experience a long time ago, and then the HIV disclosure. This was an interesting one. I think I mentioned that I grew up in the 80s, where like, HIV was a death sentence back then. We didn't have the drugs that we have now. Obviously, we didn't have PrEP, like now with PrEP, obviously my, concerns about it have dropped to zero. And all that said, I think it's like such a like important thing to disclose, especially in dating scenarios. And I think I don't know if I talked about this yet live, but
the guy,
the story. Yeah,
you talked about it.
I dated someone, and I was aware that prior to him meeting me, he had sex with someone that we also found at a party once. So then he told me, like, oh yeah, he used to be my fuck buddy. And uh this person like invited him to the back room where like there was like a sex party happening. Uh and so like I kind of noted that interaction. I was like, oh, interesting. The person that he was fuck buddies with also goes to sex parties and is active on them. And so later, as we were just getting to know each other, we had already had sex several times and we have talked about prep. And I asked, he was on prep and he said yes. And I said yes. And so, we didn't use condoms, but he was HIV positive instead, so there was like sort of a white lie there.
That's not a white lie. That's because he's not taking prep, and not only is he not taking prep, but you have a very obvious like question that you're asking when you ask if somebody's taking.
I didn't ask, are you HIV positive? I guess I just assumed that he was
because he lied about taking prep.
Yeah. Right. And so when he said prep, I was like, oh, we're both on preps, whatever.
Because somebody who's positive
like, an interesting thing is like if one of us fail at prep for like a day and the other person is on prep, again, like
no risk,
right? And so anyhow, so I remember having this conversation about the fuck buddy that he had because we were just starting to date and I had just like tested myself and everything was negative, but I have had sex with him since. And so I asked him, I was like, hey, so have you gotten tested after your fuck buddy? Because, he gave the impression that he, might be more sexually active. And for me, it was more of like, do I go and get tested again? It was a logistical thing,
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I have gotten, tested afterwards. I was like, okay, great. I was just, I'm not germaphobe. I'm not HIV phobic. Like I don't really have any issues with either of those things. Like if you have an STD and I got an STD, I was like,
go to the doctor, get some doxy.
It's a logistical problem of like, okay, now we need to kind of like quarantine until we're done and then we can do it again, right?
Yeah, there's all this like weird mixed up extra like stuff that happens for people. It's like really no different if you gave somebody strep throat, then you go to the doctor, you get some antibiotics, and you're good.
I know, yeah. Like you don't hate your friends because like they get they got a cold. You got a call from them, and you got them from them because like it's been like domino effect.
It's just like weird taboo.
Yeah, and then the other side of that, like I remember like not being sexually active, then having a fuck buddy and I got gonorrhea right away. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I know this person. He's my friend. Like, I need to let him know. Like, hey, you need to go to get tested. I just came from the doctor. I have gonorrhea. There's absolutely
definitely from
nobody else in the roster that could have given it to me. And he was like, I am so sorry. I'm gonna go get tested. I'm sorry if I get. I'm like, dude, don't fucking worry about it. Like, it's just.
I'm already on meds.
Yeah, like, I'm just letting you know because I want you to know and get it clear, obviously. So it wasn't a big deal. Like it's just, it's just a logistical problem.
That's the part.
If you're educated and sexually active, you should know that this is a logistical problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey guys, thanks so much for tuning in to Live, Laugh, Loads. We want to try to keep episodes to about an hour and a half or so we're going to take a break here. Come take a load off with us next week and catch the next part of this episode.
You can listen to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and YouTube.
You guys can check us out on Instagram at LiveLaughLoads.podcast, on Bluesky at LiveLaughLoadsCast, or look us up at LiveLaughLoads.com. Settling in.